Summoned horror. The doorbell woke me up at night. I think, who can't sleep at 3 o'clock? I went to open it. It turned out to be a friend of mine who lives in the next house. She was all in tears, barefoot, in her pajamas and babbling something indistinctly. Something must have happened. I poured her hot tea, gave her a sedative, a warm blanket, and began to ask questions. Kate calmed down a little and could speak normally. I came late at night from my sister. My husband is already sleeping on the bed, with his back to the wall, in a blanket with his head. I think, I won't wake you up, I lie down quietly. Then I woke up, my mobile was ringing, I thought that my mother, she was just in the hospital, maybe she felt bad, and wanted to say goodbye. The mobile phone was lying on the bedside table in the corridor, I had to get up. I pick up the phone, and this is my husband. He says that he stayed with a friend, he will come tomorrow. I was drenched in heat from head to toe. I hear the bed creak, as if someone is getting up. I quickly opened the door and rushed to you in what she was wearing. She started crying again, and I was seriously scared. Maybe it seemed to you? I came home tired after all. No. I even hugged him when I went to bed. Do you want me to go to your place and check? No, don't. Can I stay at your place? Of course, I'll make a bed for you on the couch. I couldn't sleep for a long time, thinking, who could it be? But still, it seemed to me that her husband was joking with her. In the morning, Kate's phone rang. Her husband called, asking where she was hanging around while he was gone. I went with Kate. When we went into her apartment, everything was turned upside down. Things are scattered around the apartment. My husband also pestered me with questions about what Kate was doing at my place at night in her pajamas and what we were doing there. They said I threw a party and invited her too. He wouldn't have believed that stuff about the unknown in bed. He also resented why Kate hung up on him. And then she dialed it herself, laughed and hissed into the phone. Her husband didn't go anywhere tonight, and Kate herself went to bed first to get to sleep as soon as possible. A week has passed, and then Kate appears on my doorstep in the morning. Killed? Who was killed? Husband. So, tell me. My husband's scream from the kitchen woke me up last night. He was screaming, "Don't, go away. God help me." I didn't dare to go to him, I was scared. I hid in another room. I hear dishes breaking, growling, my husband screaming, I call the police. Then everything went quiet. I knelt down and looked through the crack under the door. She is not small with 2 centimeters somewhere. I see. The legs are black, but human. My husband's body stretches across the floor, leaving a bloody trail. It can be seen that the intestines were pulled out. She drags him into the bedroom, which is just opposite the room. Then more growling and footsteps into the room where I'm sitting. I lock the door with a key, jumped on the sofa, I don't move. And this knocks out the doors. The doorbell rings, the police have arrived. I hear it has gone to the door and is growling. I'm screaming, calling for help. As a result, they knocked out the doors. I left the room terrified of what had happened. The police took me to the police station and interrogated me there. I explained to them until the morning. They thought of a thief, but I know that they are not thieves. Let's call a priest. So the apartment is consecrated. Crosses, icons everywhere. Let's install a camera. As I understand it, it does not appear during the day. I went to her house, installed a camera in the form of a bear toy. Friends gave it to the girls to spy on. In the morning I took the camera and we sat down with Kate to watch. At first everything was quiet for 2 hours. Then something started to come out from under the bed. Black, incomprehensible, eyes glowing, face white, mouth full of fangs and claws on his hands, in short, like in horror movies straight. I was scared, and Kate was also going. It came up to the camera and smiled, apparently knew about it, and then the shooting stopped. Kate is hysterical, I had to calm her down with cognac until she fell asleep. We decided to watch the video again. The film broke off at the most interesting, but resumed after 5 seconds. I didn't have time to turn it off. I see it walking up and down the room, stopping, looking at the camera, smiling terribly and turning its head. I was madly scared. A mean thought flashed through my mind. Go to my brother in another city and leave a note for Kate. Like, an urgent business trip. I had a very bad feeling. Packed up quickly. Before leaving, I installed a camera just in case, then went to the train station and bought the nearest train ticket to my brother. We're sitting, drinking to a meeting at my brother's, and then Kate calls me. So quiet. Hello. Where are you? What kind of business trip? Urgent, I'm sorry I left one, but I would have been fired if I hadn't gone. You calm down, stay with me for now, okay? Do you know how scared I am? How could you leave me alone? Well, you know, I'm not your babysitter, I have my own life. I'm sick of your hysteria, maybe you killed your husband yourself, and then you came up with all this heresy. Go to bed. Stupid neurotic, you need to drink less. Kate made me angry. I'm nobody to her, we studied together once and didn't even really communicate. I didn't even believe in the video. I thought it was a montage. And what? At night, while I was sleeping, she returned to her room and mounted it. In general, I called to work and took a vacation for 2 weeks. When I got home, I looked, the police, the corpses being taken out. What happened here? Are you the owner of apartment number 17? Yes. A woman was found in your apartment. Hanged. Neighbors began to complain about the smell. It stinks for 2 weeks. And there's a corpse. Suicide is most likely. What have I done? I felt guilty. I remembered about the camera, went home, picked it up, and went to a cafe. I didn't want to stay alone. I started looking. Kate's video message is on the record. I can't do this anymore. I can hear it coming for me. It will kill me. And the case of the seance is to blame for everything. I didn't want to tell you. But we called the priest immediately after the session. Drunk, they wanted to summon spirits. They called out. My last request. Go to your mom's hospital number 48. Goodbye. I went the same day to her mother. I didn't say anything, I lied that she was working. Later, I moved out of that apartment and deleted the record. Perhaps if I had stayed then, it would have killed me too.